And y'all, as soon as I stopped doing all-nighters, my grades shot up. No one's gonna do you the way that you can do you. So you really need to do you. Thank you so much for clicking on to my video, and I'm super excited for this video in particular because I'm starting a new series on my channel to kick off my new series for Ask a CodeHer. Because I feel like I get not a lot of the same questions, things that I feel like could help a lot of people. So like one of the really popular ones that I really liked and I thought would be really good to turn into a video for my first one would be to do, what are some of the things that you wish you would have known before you became a CS major? You know, let me know if you have any more questions and things that you guys want me to talk about, give you a little bit of my knowledge. I'm super down to share with you guys. You guys know that. Like, I'm super down to like give y'all advice, give y'all recommendations and tips and stuff like that to like help you guys succeed in this like tech industry thing. Like literally taking over my life, but I love it so much. And I'm so happy that you guys have subscribed to my channel and like watch my videos. It makes me feel super good that I'm out here helping y'all. So please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get right into this video. I wish I would have known like while I was applying for colleges and stuff like that, because like the way it worked out for me is that like I didn't think I was gonna be a computer science major. Like I didn't really have any interest in computer science until the end of my junior summer. I started applying for all these schools. I was like, okay, select CS for all the schools. And like I wish I would have done more research about like what schools are really good for computer science before I applied to all these different schools. A lot of schools that I really wanted to go to before were like stronger in liberal arts versus stronger in like engineering and like technical fields. So one of the things that I wish I would have done is like apply to more like engineering based schools basically, or like more STEM based schools, because like for the private schools that I applied to, they were all like really good schools, but like they really weren't investing heavily or doing research or any of those like cool things that like the top CS and like engineering schools are doing. So I wish I would have applied to like more schools like that. And another thing that I wish I would have known is that CS is a super impacted major, and I feel like this is something that like no one talks about unless you're actually in school. Like all of my friends who talk about this at school, but no one said a peep while I was applying for schools, is that to impact the majors, which basically means they have to put a limit on how many people can be in the major officially. And that doesn't mean you can't take classes, but it means that it's really hard for you to take classes. For those like intro classes that have like thousands of people that want to take it, it makes it really hard. I got into my major, right? But I had a couple friends who weren't in the major, and you basically, in order to transfer in like from undecided or another major to computer science, you had to get a 4.0. A 4.0. Perfect. You have to be perfect basically. And I feel like that sends the wrong message of like what computer science should be. Like you shouldn't have to be perfect to be in a computer science major. Like I feel like that really like makes CS a more exclusive major, and it helps perpetrate the stereotype that like you have to fit in a certain binding for you to be a computer science major or somebody who's interested in becoming a programmer, which I did not like at all. But the good thing is my school ended up changing it, so now that it's a lottery, which I still feel like pushes a wrong narrative about it, that oh my god, you just have to get lucky, you gotta get the lucky ticket to become a CS major. Like I feel like that still pushes the wrong narrative. I feel like CS should be something that's inclusive to everybody. If you're not accepted to any schools that you really want to go to as a computer science major, there are a ton of different alternatives. Honestly, there's like data science major is like a lot of schools now, cognitive science at a lot of schools now, computer engineering is also another thing that you could try to do. Math, computer science is super popular. Like there's honestly like a lot of different schools who like do different variations of computer science, like computer science and linguistics I've seen before. So like there's different variations as a backup for like the original computer science. Other tip for preparing is to make sure that you take a computer science class in your first quarter or semester, depending on what like system your school is on. Like when you first get to school that you enroll in, it should be a computer science class. And I wholeheartedly believe this. Like, people want to know like how you can get an internship your first year, and this is like the #1 thing that you have to do if you want to get an internship your first year, is that you have to take a computer science class as soon as you get to school, because the applications for those freshman internships open up in November, right? So you already have to have like technical skills before you can even apply for the job, because if you're not qualified, honestly. That's why I really recommend that if you want to hit the ground running, make sure you take a CS class as soon as you get to school. Like honestly, and I feel like that's the best thing that I did, is that like I hit the ground running when it came to this computer science stuff. I feel like that's the best way to learn it because it is such a steep learning curve. Which is the next thing I want to talk about is that CS, I feel like everybody needs to know this should not be some type of hidden thing that no one wants to talk about because they want to like make CS feel like it's jolly, folly, lolly land. The fact that computer science has a super steep learning curve in the beginning. Like if you go into CS with no experience like myself, to know that the learning curve is different than like any other discipline. So like we've all taken like English classes, we've all taken writing classes, so we know how to write. Like almost every other major incorporates things that we've done heavily from like kindergarten to high school, right? The fact that you're learning a completely new skill. Like programming is not math, it's not science, it's not biology or chemistry or any of those things. Like it's really totally separate. Now like a lot of people don't have any like type of exposure to it before they enter university is what makes the learning curve so steep for so many people. And I feel like the best way to get ahead of this steep learning curve is that you try to take a community college class, try to take the AP computer science class like in your area and just getting that basic exposure. I know a lot of friends who did AP computer science and they honestly told me that they didn't learn anything. But I do think it gives you, not an advantage, but it gives you a sense of mind knowing that you've seen some of the concepts before. Because you know, like when you're learning something, like it's all about repetition, right? So if you've seen recursion before you got to school, I've seen this before, like I don't need to be intimidated. And I feel like that's like the biggest thing is that like losing that intimidation factor and just going in with the open mind is one thing that I really, really wish I would have like done more in the beginning. And like I kind of do that now because I'm over that point in my learning curve in CS now. I feel like that's one of the biggest things that I wish I would have had as a first year and even a second year, honestly. Don't be intimidated by coding and expectations of other people because there are gonna be people who have been coding since they were 7. You know what I mean? That's just the reality of like how the playing field is set up. So you know what? Like find the people who are super, super smart that like love to help other people. That's like my biggest tip because like a lot of my really, really good friends are super knowledgeable and they love to teach other people because that expands their own knowledge. CS has a narrative of being like a solo mission and it's totally not. I like don't program with my friends all the time, but like at least once or twice a week I'm coding with my friends, my study groups, etc., because it's so much collaboration that like takes place in the major, and that honestly prepares you so much for like the real industry because oh my god, it's like not even funny how much you need to collaborate once you're finally working full time. I think finding community to study with is like the number one thing. Like besides like you taking a CS class your first quarter, alongside with that, make sure you find like not a core group, but at least 2 to 3 people, you know what I mean? 2 to 3 people to have a study group with that you guys can complain together with. You know what I mean? Y'all going through the same courses, so y'all have like similar struggles. So you gotta have some people that you can have like some community. Like community is like so important, and that's one thing that like no one really wants to talk about, but that is super important. And that's honestly been one of the biggest things for my success is that I found people who are similar to me in aspects where like, you know, we're not really like your stereotypical CS major, so like we kind of bond over that, but then we're also like trying to be the best coders that we could be. So we also have the ambition side. So like, you know, you gotta find like-minded people to work with. CS is really stressful, and it's like the people in CS make it even more stressful. And that's what I'm saying, you need to have community to block out all the noise, and then also you need to have like internal self-awareness, right? And that's one of the big things that I've really like gotten into like in these last couple years of me like transversing through this binary tree, not transversing through this journey of like computer science is like being able to like have peace of mind that like you really have to focus on self at the same time. Like making sure that you're taking care of yourself is super important. I feel like in the CS culture, it's like that whole stay up all-nighters grind. And y'all, as soon as I stopped doing all-nighters, my grades shot up, okay? I'm not even kidding. Like, leave the all-nighters to the people who will actually work for. If you see it's not working for you, don't continue to do the same things and expect a different result. You know what I mean? So that's one of the biggest things is that like I was super stressed my first year because I was trying to keep up with everybody else. And like at a certain time, you need to realize that like you're on your own journey. This is your own journey. No one's gonna do you the way that you can do you. So you really need to do you. Find out what really works for you. And like when I say that, it's like, you know, if you find yourself being stressed out before an exam, study 2 weeks in for an exam. And that's what I do. You know what I mean? Like I have to find out different things that can keep my stress levels down and make me feel like I'm performing well in my classes and actually get the grades that I want without being like overly stressed trying to pull all-nighters to cram for exams. because that doesn't work for me. And that's one of the things I want to say, is that, like, you know, find out what works for you, find ways to manage your stress, and also, like, block out the haters, okay? Because some of these CS people are a trip. So that's my biggest, like, way I can answer that question, is the things I wish I would have known before I became a computer science major. And I hope some of these things that I've said resonated with you, made you feel like, you know, like, you're not the only person in this game, because I'm telling you, you're not. I'm trying to grow a little community on my YouTube channel of, like, people who are going through similar things, transversing this CS world. And I feel like with that, like, we're creating a community on this platform, and, like, we know we can go through similar stripes, so we have people to actually connect with. And I feel like that's, like, one of the biggest things, especially when you're going through something, like, so, I don't want to say traumatizing, because I feel like being a computer science major is, like, the best thing I ever did with my life, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's, like, the most challenging thing I've done with my life at the same time. And I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand, you know what I mean? Reward versus hard work, they gotta meet somewhere in the middle. Let me know what else you guys want to see from these Ask a CodeHer episodes. I don't want to call them episodes, but, like, segments. I'm trying to post them every Tuesday once the school year starts, because I'm, like, making a strict posting routine. I'm actually gonna stick with it, y'all. You know, we're talking about discipline with interviewing. Like, honestly, like, my whole interview process has opened my eyes to the capability that I hold within. This is getting a little deep right now. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys found the things that I talked about a little helpful, some things that you guys can resonate with. And please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.